Let's start off with Duduzane Zuma. He's appeared, especially at two major ANC events. Why? What's happening?
Well, good morning and thanks for inviting me. Look, to understand Duduzane Zuma, you must understand Africa. Because what is happening with regard to him and his father, we have seen before. This is what typically African kleptocrats do. When they get into power, they bring in members of their family. So what you observe is that members of their family, their sons and daughters, would have been poor before they became leaders. When they are in power, their sons and daughters become rich. That has happened to Duduzane. Number two, the sons and daughters begin to have a sense of entitlement. They feel as if they are little presidents and little queens. That's exactly how Duduzane is behaving. Before his father was president, he was a nobody. But after his father became president, suddenly he's a critical voice in the ANC and is rich. So that's exactly what is happening in the psychology of the sons and daughters of kleptocrats.
People are talking about his Hollywood-style presence. They are enthusiastic, rupturing to applause when they see him. I'm just wondering, obviously you say, according to you, that this is his own step back to reclaim his rights. But who are the beneficiaries surrounding him? There must be people who've got some sort of agenda here. Who are they and what is it?
There's no question about it. If you look at state capture, Duduzane Zuma was at the center of that. He was a go-between all sorts of nefarious characters. So, in other words, there was a headquarters not far from where we are in Section World, run by the Guptas, right? He was the messenger. Whenever the Guptas wanted to see a dodgy character or they wanted to co-opt a minister, they sent this boy to go get that person to bring to Section World. So he has never acted alone. He has always stood between his father, who was president, as well as the criminals, the Guptas, and all sorts of people that they wanted to bring in. So when he speaks, there are big people behind him. We may not know them personally, but judging by what happened in the past, we know that there are characters who are sending him. He's just a small dog doing the dirty work of big bulldogs.
Should we be concerned? I mean, while Cyril Ramaphosa, his weakness is allowing the forces against him to regroup, is he part of that? Is this what we are seeing?
No, he's not. I mean, what the forces that are using Duduzane Zuma are doing, they are shaking the tree for the monkeys to fall. So they don't want Cyril Ramaphosa to have control over the ANC. They are generating noises so that Cyril Ramaphosa is not confident to run matters in the ANC. That Cyril Ramaphosa and this group are unable to deal with little noisemakers like Duduzane Zuma shows that they themselves are weak. So as
I was going to say, you would expect some sort of leadership here. No, what are you doing? Come back in.
There's no leadership. That's why they allow these Mickey Mouse young kids to run around. It's because they are not in control of the ANC. So you and I as citizens, we must be worried when there is a leadership vacuum, because we end up being led by Duduzane Zuma. Who elected Duduzane Zuma to say what about South Africa?
All right. His father is in Cuba at the moment. That sort of kind of plays into the playbook of sort of dictators going there for their so-called health issues. What sort of game is he playing there?
Yeah, it's again, the typical African game. What do? The kleptocrats who steal money when they are presidents? They weaken their public institutions. So they weaken hospitals, they weaken education institutions, they send their kids outside to study. When they are sick, they don't go to their hospitals. They go to hospitals outside their country. That's number one. Number two, they also weaken financial institutions, so they open bank accounts outside the country. So Zuma fits perfectly the script of an African thief who steals money when he's in office and weakens public institutions, and when he's sick, he doesn't go to a local hospital in South Africa, he goes outside South Africa.
Break it here, play elsewhere. Very quickly, if you can, just give us a sense of what you think is happening around the public protector and the ANC stance there.
Well, there's no question that the public protector was a deployee of a very dirty component or faction of the ANC. You can see that the ANC is now speaking with many mouths. There is, on the one hand, Supra Mahumapil, who says that nothing will be done to the public protector. So Supra was in the engine room of the criminals who had captured the state, and the public protector has been an instrument in that regard.
Okay.
But on the other side, there are people who are trying very hard to restore the integrity of that office. So there's a fight, a factional fight over the public protector.
It seems to be a daily thing. Prince Mashele, good to talk to you.